Oh, it's week 12 in the NFL season. Oh boy. What is up, everybody? JT Dangerously here once again, and I am back for my week 12 NFL predictions. Now, of course, Monday Night Football just ended, and week 11 just ended with the Oakland Raiders winning. So my record for week 11, 11-3. So it was a fantastic week this week with only 3 losses and 11 wins. So that's another fantastic week. 5 straight weeks since week 6. 5 straight weeks winning record. So we got through 5. Let's get ready for 6. Let's go for 6 weeks in a row with a winning record. Now, of course, before I start, I want to wish everybody a happy and safe Thanksgiving this year, because this week 12 is, of course, going through Turkey Day, of course, and I hope you guys celebrate Turkey Day the ravishing way and celebrate it with your family. And of course, be safe, because being it's Black Friday, don't do anything crazy, folks. But of course, once again, happy Thanksgiving to you all, and have a spend time with your family. Be thankful for what you have and what you received this holiday season. Other than that, let's get right into these picks. But again, let me just say thank you all for what you guys did for week 11 picks on my channel. Multiple things were broken. Let's start with the views. 656 views on that week 11 picks, the most on the channel. That's one. 25 subscribers gained from that video alone, most on the channel. 21 likes. You guys smash the like button and subscribe button like only you guys can. The MVPs of my channel. 21 likes. The most on the channel. Of course, there's 6 dislikes, also a most on the channel, but of course, that's okay. Sticks and stones. But again, what can I say to you guys? You guys are awesome. You guys are the MVPs. Thank you all who did watch my video. 656 is amazing. You guys make me so happy to do this every week. And 25 new subscribers, and of course I want to thank you for subscribing to me, subscribing to this Dangerous Alliance. Of course, I am JT Dangerously, and welcome to the Dangerous Alliance. New subscribers. Comments were fantastic. Over 30 comments, over 35 comments. Some great support for me on the channel. Some good luck from certain people. A few people letting me know about their picks, which is fantastic. I always do watch them, and I see some of them were very bold predictions, and some of them were from kids, of course, which were even cooler to see. And I love the support, the positivity on my comment section from you guys, and I really do want to thank you all. And you guys make this guy, this 26-year-old, who's turning 27 on November 26th, which is a Saturday, you're making this 26 going on 27-year-old a really happy guy to be doing this every week. So again, I want to thank everybody who did watch week 11's picks. So God bless and respect. So let's get right into these picks. Of course, there is no buys this week. So if you have players on your team, you go with the best players you guys got on your team. So there's no buys. I would think there's a buy next week or the week after, so just be ready for that for my week 13 picks. But this week there's no buys. So fantasy update, just put the best players in. Hopefully you win. Now, of course, there's 3 Thanksgiving games this year, and of course I've been doing this since 2007. Weekly picks. My record on Thanksgiving is 21-6. It's not a bad record on Thanksgiving for me. Of course, last year's record was not great. Again, this is my first year doing this here. But my last year's record was 1-2, so I'm hopefully this week I can redeem myself from last season and bounce back. So again, let's get right into these week 12 picks, starting with these 3 Thanksgiving games. Of course, starting with the Minnesota Vikings heading to Ford Field to play the Detroit Lions. Now, of course, the Minnesota Vikings did beat the Arizona Cardinals this week. Of course, they must have watched my video being on the list. And before I get to the Sunday slate, I will tell you somebody made the list this week, and it's a few teams. So get ready for that. Minnesota looked good. The offense we were looking for finally showed up. And then you have the Detroit Lions, who, of course, were down again and came back. The hottest team in the NFC North. Of course, it's in Ford Field. Matthew Stafford against Sam Bradford. It's going to be a fantastic matchup on Thanksgiving. Detroit's been here on Thanksgiving a lot of times. So, in Minnesota, I think this is a few times they've been on Thanksgiving, but Detroit's always been the staple of Thanksgiving. So coming from me, I am going to take the Detroit Lions to beat the Minnesota Vikings. Now the next matchup, the second matchup of 3 on Thanksgiving. The Washington Redskins heading to Jerry Dome to play the Dallas Cowboys. Now, of course, the Washington Redskins just beat the Green Bay Packers like handily. Kirk Cousins looking good. Ooh-wee. Kirk Cousins doing the work. And if you don't know why I do that, ooh-wee, it's like the you like that. Kirk Cousins did the ooh-wee. Like, ooh-wee. Kirk Cousins. They look good. Of course, they're playing against the Packers. Packers not a great-looking team this year. And then you have the Dallas Cowboys, who did beat the Baltimore Ravens on Sunday. Baltimore, you nearly had my challenge accepted by stopping Zeke the Freak. But again, he did have 97 yards in that game. So officially, Baltimore, you did not meet the challenge of stopping Zeke the Freak from 90 yards. So again, this is Washington's chance. Now, if this is a direct challenge to Washington's defense, you stop Zeke the Freak from getting over 90 yards, I'll pick you next week. So, challenge. Hope you can accept the challenge, Redskins fans. Now, of course, Tony Romo is back, but as the backup, he swallowed his pride, said Dak is the starter, and he's a starter. And he looked good on Sunday. 3 touchdowns against Baltimore, 2 to Dez Bryant. It was a fantastic game for Dallas, and they've been here on Thanksgiving. So, in this matchup, I am going to take the Dallas Cowboys to beat the Washington Redskins to continue this winning streak. The only thing I can say is that they have a very easy schedule. Like, you can see me picking them every week, but they have a very, very easy schedule. So, let them get through this very easy schedule, but then they got to prove it to me in the playoffs. That's what it really matters, is the playoffs. So once again, I'm taking the Dallas Cowboys over the Washington Redskins. Now the last Thanksgiving Day game. The Pittsburgh Steelers heading to Lucas Oil Stadium to play the Indianapolis Colts. Now, of course, the Pittsburgh Steelers did bounce back and beat the Cleveland Browns, of course. Le'Veon Bell did work. He did work. Ben Roethlisberger looked good. Antonio Brown looked good. Everybody looked good. They have the Indianapolis Colts, who, once again, I pick against them, they win. They beat the Tennessee Titans. They were up 21-7 at halftime. So it was and they nearly blew the lead, but of course they won. So that there's the Colts curse on me, because every time I pick against them, I lose. This should be a good time. This should be a good matchup for sure. So, and it's Andrew Luck against Ben Roethlisberger, so it's going to be a fantastic match. In this matchup, I am going to take the Pittsburgh Steelers to beat the Indianapolis Colts, because it's too many big-time weapons on the Steelers' offense and defense. No offense to Indianapolis, but Pittsburgh's the better team, so I'm going to take Pittsburgh over Indianapolis. Now the Sunday slate, the 10 a.m., 1 p.m. starts. But first, let me talk about who's on my list. Now, there was 11, something happened on Sunday which has never happened in a long time. 11 kickers missed extra point kicks. And I'm going to say right now, every 11 of those kickers, which two of them, which would be the New York Giants kicker and Mike Nugent from the Cincinnati Bengals. But other than that, 7 out of those 11 missed extra point field goals. And you know what? You know what happens when you miss extra point field goals? You just made my list dangerously. And let me just count them down. The Chicago Bears kicker, you just made the list. The New York Giants kicker, who missed 2 extra points, you just made the list. The Cincinnati Bengals, Mike Nugent, kicker, you just made the list. The Detroit Lions kicker, Matt Prater, you just made the list. The Minnesota Vikings kicker, the new kicker who's not Blair Walsh, you just made the list. The Jacksonville Jaguars kicker, you just made the list. Even my New England Patriots Gostkowski missed a field goal. Gostkowski, you're on the list. And even my Seattle Seahawks. Of course, it was blocked, but blocked extra points still count as missing an extra point. So, Steven Hauschka, you just made the list. And of course, the Cleveland Browns kicker also missed a field goal. So, the kicker for the Cleveland Browns made the list. These are just the kickers. They are not the teams. I'm not putting any of these teams on the list. They're just the kickers on these teams are on the list. So, those kickers I just named that missed extra point field goals or got blocked, who got blocked field goals, you just made my list. And just a word of advice, make those fucking extra points next time. Don't let it get blocked, make them. Fucking make them. But I digress. Let's get right into these 10 a.m., 1 p.m. starts. Starting with the Tennessee Titans heading to Soldier Field to play the Chicago Bears. Now, of course, the Tennessee Titans did lose to the Indianapolis Colts, which is kind of surprising after they put 45 on the Packers and they only scored 21 on the Colts, which was so surprising and so disappointing for them. They could have won that game if it wasn't for mistakes. And mistakes cost you big time. And then you have the Chicago Bears, who did have a lead against the New York Giants 16-9 and then blow it, of course. And they did lose. They don't have Alshon Jeffrey for 4 games because of the suspension. Jay Cutler looked okay, was not great. And of course, the Bears kicker missed a field goal. I forgot to say the Bears. The Bears also kicker. The kicker for the Bears, you just made the list for missing the extra point. This is a good team. Like, Tennessee's such a good team, and Chicago's just not a great team. And this is kind of an obvious pick. I am going to take the Tennessee Titans to beat the Chicago Bears. Now the next matchup, the LA Rams heading to the Superdome to play the New Orleans Saints. Now, of course, the LA Rams did lose to the Miami Dolphins on Sunday, of course. Jared Goff made his debut. It wasn't great, but at least we saw him on the field. Rams fans, LA Rams fans. Todd Gurley had a touchdown. Defense woke up, but it just fell short in the end. So, tough break for LA Rams fans, but at least Jared Goff played, which was fantastic. And then you have the New Orleans Saints, who did lose to the Carolina Panthers on Thursday Night Football. So it's funny that the Jared Goff played against a great Dolphins defense. Now he's got to go to New Orleans to play the Drew Brees and the Saints. It kind of seems like it's going to be not good, because you're playing against a team that's going to, if you don't score, like, if they score, you got to score. If they score again, you got to score again. I don't see LA doing that, honestly. They're only good for their defense and Gurley and Jared Goff, of course. So in this matchup, I am going to take the New Orleans Saints to beat the LA Rams. Now the next matchup, the Jacksonville Jaguars heading to Buffalo to play the Buffalo Bills. Now, of course, the Jacksonville Jaguars did lose again. They did lose their running back for, I think it was a shoulder injury or ankle injury. So if you have Chris Ivory or Denard Robinson on your team, make sure you keep an eye on him. But it does not look good. This team does not look good. Jacksonville does not look good. And now they're going to Buffalo, and of course the Buffalo Bills did beat Cincinnati, but they did lose Shady McCoy. It looks like it was a thumb injury, and he may have thumb surgery, but they're saying that he may play next week. So, pending anything coming up, Shady McCoy is playing. Hopefully they may have Sammy Watkins back this week. Hopefully, but I'm not. Don't quote me on that, but just take a while, guys. In this matchup, I gotta take the Buffalo Bills. I hate picking the Bills because I gotta pick the fat ass Ryan brothers, Rex and Rob. And being a Patriots fan, I hate even picking them every week. So in this matchup, I'm just gonna pick the Buffalo Bills to beat the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now the next matchup, in the AFC North matchup, the Cincinnati Bengals heading to Baltimore to play the Baltimore Ravens. Now, of course, the Cincinnati Bengals did lose to Buffalo on Sunday, and they also lost 2 big stars. And I'll get to that as soon as I talk about Baltimore. And of course, Baltimore did lose to the Dallas Cowboys. They did look good. Baltimore did look good. The running game looked good. Defense looked good. They nearly kept Zeke Elliott from over 90 yards, so that was pretty impressive. So that's Baltimore. Now we got to talk about Cincinnati. And Cincinnati lost two big-time stars against Buffalo. Losing A.J. Green, their wide receiver, with a torn hamstring is huge. That is the biggest blow. And, of course, losing again, and obviously I don't think they're out of playoff contention. So they lose A.J. Green for the season, looks like for the season. If he has a torn hamstring, he's done for the season. And they lost Giovanni Bernard for a torn ACL. So you're going with Andy Dalton, Jeremy Hill, Tyler Eifert, Brandon LaFell, and a lot of rookie wide receivers. But losing AJ and Giovanni Bernard are two huge blows for the Cincinnati Bengals. And coming from me, I got to take the Baltimore Ravens in this matchup because losing AJ Green, a top-tier wide receiver, fantasy-wise and playing-wise, is huge. It was huge. It was a huge loss for them. So I'm going to take the Baltimore Ravens to beat the Cincinnati Bengals. Now the next matchup, the Arizona Cardinals heading to the Georgia Dome to play the Atlanta Falcons. Now, of course, Arizona did lose to the Minnesota Vikings. Thanks, Arizona, you jackasses. Couldn't even get a win against Minnesota. They could have won, but Minnesota finally woke up after weeks of losing. So, you can't say anything bad. You can't say nothing else about that game. They had that game. They could have won it. They didn't. They have the Atlanta Falcons, who are coming off a bye, back at home, rested. You already know where I'm going to go with this. I am going to go with, and it's Battle of the Birds. We had a Battle of the Birds with Seattle and Philly this week, and now we have another Battle of the Birds, Part 3, Arizona and Atlanta. The Dirty Birds against the Birds, Arizona Cardinals. So, coming from me, I am going to take the Atlanta Falcons because they're at home. It's at the Georgia Dome. They're coming off a bye. They should be rested. Hopefully, Tevin Coleman does play for them for running back, and Devontae Freeman also shows up. Matty Ice, Julio Jones. So I'm taking Atlanta over Arizona. Now the next matchup, the New York Giants heading to Cleveland to play the Cleveland Browns. Now, of course, the New York Giants did win, come from behind over the Chicago Bears. Running game finally showed up. Defense looking good. Offense looking good. So the Giants are back on the winning track. And then you have the Cleveland Browns, who are still winless. And the only good player they have is Duke Johnson and Terrell Pryor Sr. And Cody Kessler got hurt again. He had a concussion, so they went with Josh McCown. And what else can you say about the Browns? They're winless. And I'm going to just say it right now. If any team loses to them, they will never be picked again. And this may be the Cleveland Browns' best chance to beat a team like the Giants. I say might. Might is a strong word. Coming from me, I'm going to take the New York Giants. The New York Giants over the Cleveland Browns is kind of an obvious. So I'm taking the Giants over the Browns. Now the next matchup, the San Francisco 49ers heading to Florida to play the Miami Dolphins. Now, of course, the San Francisco 49ers did lose to my Patriots. They're the 1-9ers, which is my friend Mitchell Seagal thought of, so I got to give props to him for that one. The 1-9ers. Of course, Colin Kaepernick looked good, but everything else was just garbage. They got blown out by my Patriots, so that was kind of an obvious. The 1-9ers, and now they're playing against the Miami Dolphins, who did come from behind from 10-0 down to beat these LA Rams. Jay Ajayi did fantastic. And coming from me in the AFC wildcard, Miami is the team that's going to win, and that's the team that's going to get into the wild card. To finally get out of that hole, it's only New England getting in. We're going to have at least one more team in the AFC East that's going to come in, and I think it's going to be the Miami Dolphins. And coming from me, this is another swash match. It's Jay Ajayi against Carlos Hyde. It's Boise State against Ohio State. You got Colin Kaepernick against Ryan Tannehill. A&M against Nevada. Coming from me, I got to take the Miami Dolphins to see the 1-9ers go 1-10. Continue the losing streak. So I'm going to take the Dolphins over the 49ers. Now the next matchup. The San Diego Chargers heading to Houston to play the Houston Texans. Now, of course, San Diego's coming off a bye. They're rested. They're going to be jacked up to the max going on the road. Going to Houston, who just lost to the Oakland Raiders tonight. So there goes their road undefeated streak, of course. The only thing that you got to say about the Houston Texans is that the biggest bust on their team is Brock Osweiler. They paid him that much money and he's been that bad. He has been the biggest free agent bust in history. And Texans fans, you can agree to disagree with me, but they're a good team, but Osweiler has been very non-consistent. He doesn't do as much. He has all those weapons, but he doesn't do it. He's not producing as much as you guys are paying him. And of course, it's coming from me. They're at home. I'm going to take the Houston Texans over the San Diego Chargers, but I would not be surprised San Diego gives them a fight. But I am going to take Houston over San Diego. Now the next matchup. My Seattle Seahawks heading to Tampa to play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, of course, Seattle did beat the Philadelphia Eagles. Watched it with my friend Mitchell Seagull. It was a good game. Defense, everything looked good for them. They did lose C.J. Procise with a shoulder injury. Pete Carroll said it was like a scapula injury, so he could be out for a while. But they did bring back Thomas Rawls, who showed up, come back from the fibula injury, so they're looking good on running and off. Offense-wise, they're looking good. Defense-wise, they're always looking good. Then you have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who upset the Kansas City Chiefs at home in Arrowhead. That was maybe one of my big-time losses this week, that Tampa Bay beat Kansas City. Tampa Bay looks good. Doug Martin is looking good. Mike Evans is going to have those kind of big-time receiving yards, so Seattle defense, look out for him, look out for Dougie, and look out for Jameis Winston, because he'll put numbers on you like no tomorrow. So coming from me, this is an obvious, it's a no-brainer. I'm taking my Seattle Seahawks to beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now the next matchup, the Carolina Panthers heading to the Black Hole to play the Oakland Raiders. Now, of course, Carolina did win on Thursday Night Football, Week 11, of course. Not a blowout win. It was just a win. Then you have the Oakland Raiders, who did just beat the Houston Texans on Monday Night Football. They looked good. The crowd was in it. And, of course, you get a lot of Raider fans in Mexico, so that's big-time props to them. Coming from me, and of course, this is back at it's back in California. It's back at the Black Hole in Oakland, California. I'm taking the Oakland Raiders. I cannot say anything bad about the Oakland Raiders, other than they do give up a lot of points, but they know how to bring it back around and actually win. And of course, if you live in California, it's all about the Raiders here. The Raiders are the best team, other than like the best team in California, other than like if we're talking like the Dallas Cowboys. There's a lot of Dallas Cowboys fans in California, but there's a whole hell of a lot of silver and black here. And I don't blame them for having like seeing them lose every year sucks, and finally they're winning, and that makes me so happy to pick them every week. So I'm taking the Oakland Raiders to beat the Carolina Panthers. Now the next matchup, which was supposed to be the Sunday Night Football matchup, but they changed it up because of a certain team, our Jets. Of course, my New England Patriots heading to Jersey to play the New York Jets. Now, of course, my New England Patriots did beat the 1-9ers, of course, at San Francisco. Tom Brady, 4 touchdowns. What can you say? It's Tom Brady. They did not have Rob Gronkowski. Hopefully, he will be playing in this game after the whole hit that the Cam Chancellor hit that he got against Seattle. If it was Cam Chancellor or Michael, I think it was Cam Chancellor hit him. That hopefully he will be back for this game. Running game is back. Dion Lewis, LeGarrette Blount. Everything's working good for the New England Patriots. Then you have the New York Jets. They're coming off a bye. Hopefully they're going to start Bryce Petty, so this will be his second start in years. This game was supposed to be the Sunday Night Football matchup. I was hearing this, and they moved it because they wanted something a little bit more interesting, because the Jets obviously are garbage. Jets fans, admit it, you guys are garbage. You guys are terrible. You have such great players, but you have a garbage team. Garbage team with no franchise quarterback. And that's being straight up honest with you. And coming from me, I'm going to take my Patriots. Like, what could be better than giving me an early early birthday gift to having 2 of my favorite teams win? The Seahawks and the Patriots. So I'm taking the Patriots over the Jets. Now the Sunday Night Football matchup that was replacing the Jets and Patriots, which is an AFC West matchup. And this is going to be a fantastic game. The Kansas City Chiefs heading to Mile High to play the Denver Broncos. Now, of course, Kansas City Chiefs did lose upsettingly to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I mean, they did not have Jeremy Maclin. They did not have Justin Houston. They did not have Dee Ford. They didn't have a lot on defense, so I can understand them losing that game. But that was a huge loss. Then you have the Denver Broncos, who are coming off a bye. Hopefully they're going to be healthy. I would think Aqib Talib should be playing, but don't quote me on that, of course. Coming from me, the teams are always on bye. They usually always win. So coming from me, I'm going to take the Denver Broncos to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Now the Monday night matchup goes against the last Monday Night Raw of November, featuring the Green Bay Packers heading to Philly to play the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, of course, the Green Bay Packers did lose to the Washington Redskins. They got handled again. The Packers are done in the North. I'm just going to say this straight up right now, Packer fans. They are done in the North. They are not going to win it this year. It's going to be either the Vikings or the Lions. So no offense, Packers fans. Even though you signed Christian Michael when the Seattle Seahawks waived them, which again I understand, but Seahawks, like, come on, really, you guys? But they have talent. They have Thomas Rawls, but that's the Seahawks. We're talking about the Packers. They're in trouble. They're in big time trouble. It's not relax, like I said in week 11. It's panic. It's PANIC, panic. And then you have the Philadelphia Eagles, who did lose to the Seattle Seahawks. Of course, Wentz did not have a great game. He had a few He had, I think, 2 touchdowns. I think 2 or 3 touchdowns. But again, a losing effort. But playing in Seattle is different. Playing in Seattle is a whole different monster. And they're playing at home. Hopefully they can get a win. Hopefully they can bounce back. So I'm going to take the Philadelphia Eagles to beat the Green Bay Packers. And those are my NFL Week 12 predictions. Now, I hope you enjoyed my predictions. Comment below. Comment below, who do you have winning this week? Who are you representing this week as your favorite team? I'm always on. I'm always liking comments and replying to them. You guys keep it coming. Of course, please please hit that like button. Please, of course, comment, and of course, subscribe and become part of this dangerous alliance. And I will see you in the next video. See ya.